Our government has housing supply solutions in just 6 months. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your Stein because this is an article that I thought, well, we should have a look at because frankly, it just sums everything up to a T. So, this is from AAP. Renters' rights are boosted and more housing supply according to the PM. So fantastic. It's going to, more rights for renters. That's what they want. They want security and stability and more housing supply. But there's a catch. There's always a catch. A plan to increase housing supply to tackle Australia's affordability crisis will be developed within the next 6 months. So they didn't really have anything. Didn't come to the election with anything. Not that the Liberals had anything in place either. It makes you wonder how the extension of the federal government's grants that we talked about yesterday, how much thought went into the implications of that. You'd think there'd be like a cost-benefit analysis of every policy that the government puts forward, wouldn't you? Or maybe just a voting room analysis. Or am I just getting too cynical, guys? I'm sure they'll have a solution in 6 months. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese announced the measure on Friday following a meeting of National Cabinet in Brisbane. He said the nation's planning ministers will develop proposed reforms to increase housing supply within 6 months as part of a national plan to manage growth in cities and towns. Ministers will work with Australian local government authorities. Okay, so this is a step in the right direction. As I've said before, the issue is you've got federal, state, and local councils all, having different takes on it and answering to different bodies. People will be complaining and moaning about housing affordability, but then they'll go to a not in my backyard protest to address it. Later this year, housing ministers will come up with a plan to strengthen renters' rights nationwide. The federal government will offer incentives to increase the supply of housing by increasing the depreciation rate from 2.5% to 4% per year for eligible new build-to-rent projects when construction commences after May 9. So, you can depreciate your investments faster. I wonder who will be able to get that. As well, the government will reduce the withholding tax rate for eligible fund payments from managed investment trusts to foreign residents on income from newly constructed residential build-to-rent properties from July 1, 2024, from 30% to 15%. Boy, it looks like they're focusing on this build-to-rent. The worrying part of this is that we're going to head down the path of Europe, and where you'll have large corporations, landlords. Where here we've got the mum and dad landlords. So sure, there's wealth inequality, but it's not going to be hopefully it's not going to be as bad as other parts of the world, but oh boy. It will also increase capacity of the affordable housing bond aggregator by expanding the liability cap by $2 billion. Mr. Albanese said an overhaul of Australia's migration system would ensure the states and territories have a greater role and that immigration is meeting the needs of communities. An overhaul. We're getting, hundreds of thousands, 600, 700,000 migrants coming to Australia in the next 2 years. And any criticism about it is, on left-wing media, is labelled as a racist attack. Well, I'd argue, I would honestly hope that Australia is a mature enough society that, such pathetic comments are put aside. It's not really a criticism of foreigners coming here. It's the fact that we only have so much housing, we only have so much infrastructure that, increasing your population growth so fast puts a strain on those existing capacities. So it's gonna result in a reduced quality of life and increased cost of living, unless you ensure that if you want to maintain the quality of life, you want to maintain your cost of living as best you can, you want to ensure that your infrastructure is growing at the same rate as your population growth. And you've got to realize there's big, you've got political activists calling for projects to be shut down. No new power, no new coal. These are the things we need to ensure our power is cheap, our manufacturing is cheap. It's, because think about it. Every time a house is built, every saw cut that is made, that's using electricity. All of that adds up. All of that adds to the cost of every single thing in this country. And this is just one example of where you've got people advocating for decarbonization of our energy generation capacity. And it's going to result in variable energy generation that's going to need significant infrastructure just to try and smooth out the curves in their generation capacity, which will never meet the same reliability that we've become accustomed to. So, and then yet the same people then will be critical of any calls to reduce immigration, even just for a period. What you know, this, when we had huge immigration in the past, you know what that was for? It was to help build up the country. Who do you think built the Snowy? This is why Australia, one of the reasons why Australia has really drawn upon bringing more people to this country is to increase our capacity and our technical skills to meet some of the shortfalls that we've had here as a colony on the edge of the world. You know, sure, let's bring hundreds of thousands more Australians over here, or future Australians here, but let's then use it to build the infrastructure necessary to ensure we can all live, comfortable and lives where it's even possible to own a home for the average person. I'm getting to the point where I'm seeing home ownership and the difficulty in the average person owning a home as a potential unrest issue in this country and moving forward. It's gonna cause problems. The Prime Minister said the government was undertaking an independent review of its infrastructure investment program. The review has the backing of the states and territories. Okay, so, that's good. They're aware of it. Let's have a bit of a talk about this one. So this is honestly a good sign. The Labor government are taking the steps necessary to address the housing affordability and rental issues here in Australia. It's not going to be a quick fix. Not what anyone tells you. It's not going to be a quick fix. It has to be a long-term, systematic change. It has to. We need to have collaboration from federal, state, and local council levels. There needs to be an input in it from immigration. Needs to play a factor. Our infrastructure needs to play a factor in all of this. And this is going to take 6 months. I think is optimistic. It should be a point of debate at the next election, how this is addressed. Because this could be the big win for Labor. If they can put a proposal together, get it and kick some goals and get something happening, it could win them a next term. We'll have to see if they can pull it off, though. But it is encouraging the path that they're taking. I'm glad to see it. What do you reckon? Because this is what needs to happen. You need to get the three levels of government working together. Anyway, let me know your thoughts and opinions on this one. Thank you for watching. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Check out Heise BIM and Heise Does. And if you're a fan, enjoy the context and stuff I talk about, you can support us on YouTube or Patreon. Use our referral links via Pocket Squares or call us if you need an architect. Take care. Have a great day. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.